Hello and welcome to Let's Bring Them In. My name is Benjamin Dart. I'm your up-and-coming marketing rock star.
Howdy, partner. It's the Time Wizard, Evan Klein.
And as always, this is Sir Derek, your Knight of Ethics.
This is Let's Bring Them In, a comedy marketing podcast where we rebrand the brands that don't need rebranding. Evan, you've been working at a liquor store recently, and you've been having a couple interesting customers. What happened to you recently?
Yes, so working at a liquor store is not all, glitz and glamour.
You don't just get to sip beers all day?
You don't just get to sip beers all day.
Do you ever get to drink on the job?
It's not called drinking, Ben. It's called tasting.
Oh, good point. That's a great point.
And yes, I've tasted a few whiskeys that I wanted to buy. Turns out I didn't want to buy either of them, though, so it's a good thing I tasted them first. And then we'll taste beers every now and again to be sure they're still good. Hint, they are. So the reason I let in so hard with the howdy partner is because, as Ben mentioned, we had an interesting customer recently at the liquor store.
Would you call it an altercation, or is that not the right word?
I would call it a battle of the brains.
Ooh.
Yes. So the
I
guy
would not use the plural.
No, good point.
It was your brain fighting against a wall.
It was what I would perceive to be my capacity to think, fighting with what I was sending out sonar, and I got nothing back. So I'm cleaning one of the like the glass doors of the beer cooler, and the guy comes in with his wife. Neither of them are wearing masks. Whatever, that's fine. I mean, well, it's not fine. If you're not allowed to come into any place of business in Michigan now,
specifically not okay.
Yes. However, if they walk in without one, that's fine. I normally just ask them, hey, what's up? You got a mask? You don't? We have one. If you don't want to put one on, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. We can take your order from outside. No need for an altercation.
That's super
not a
nice.
big deal.
Yeah, that's actually so chill that you could just get them their stuff from outside.
Yes, so easy. So in my head, I'm just like, it's a Sunday. It's calm. No one freaks out on Sundays. So this guy comes in and I'm like, hey, sir, do you have a mask? And in my head, I'm already like, I'm on cruise control. This guy replies, no, I'm not allowed to wear one. So in my head, it's like, oh, he's probably, he's on that bullshit about I've got a medical exempt card.
Yeah.
That, the fake ones. So I was like, oh, what? And he's like, yeah, I have a CPL, so I don't have to wear it. So I'm not allowed to wear a mask. Specifically saying he's not allowed. So in my head, I'm racking my brain. I'm like,
CPL for the audience being a concealed carry license.
Yeah. Concealed carry license, like to have a gun. So in my head, I'm like, have gun equal no need for mask. And then I'm just trying to think it out, like, what does that mean? He's going to shoot the virus away? Is he going to protect the store from the virus with his precious God gun? So then I'm like, it didn't make sense to me. And in that moment, I was just being very transparent. I was like, man, I don't.
Evan, don't you know that if you have a gun, you're no longer allowed to conceal your face? That's just how it works.
Yes. So
how do they know you're not going to rob the place?
Exactly.
Smart.
Well, that comes into play. That'll be a secret tool that'll help us in this story later. So I'm like, I don't get how that adds up. I look at him. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Nice. That's so cool.
And then as he's walking away, no, I can't, I'm not allowed to, it's a law. Look it up. And I'm just standing there okay, well, my boss is up front. I have another coworker up front. They'll talk to them. They'll talk to him. I was like, whatever. My boss walks past him, and I'm like, he didn't say anything to him. So then I talked to my boss. I was like, wait, is it are you allowed? What's the deal here? CPL and a mask. Are you allowed to wear a mask? He's like, that's a good question. I was like, wait, am I completely out of my mind here? Answer. No, not in this instance. So then I go up to the front. That guy had already left, and one of my coworkers is fairly familiar with gun law. He's an antique weapons collector, so he's very familiar with what you are and are not allowed to do. So I go up to him. I was like, hey, so if you have a CPL, are you allowed to wear a mask? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, that guy just said he has a gun on him, so he's not allowed to have a mask. He's like, yeah, that's bullshit. And attorney generals have weighed in on this.
Nice.
So loosely, what Ben was saying, I think it kind of hinges on the idea that if you have a gun on you and you use it while wearing a mask, it can lead to a longer jail sentence because you're trying to conceal your face. So the idea that he must have been, working on, like galaxy brain move. Okay, if I have a gun, I don't have to have a mask, because if they tell me to wear a mask, I'll tell them I don't want to go to jail. It's just like that. What's that knot that, Philip, Alexander the Great just cut? Is it the Macedonian knot?
I don't remember the name of it, but I know what you're saying. It's like nobody can untie this knot.
Exactly.
So
it's like he believed that he had this great knot of logic that could twist any stupid libtard like myself who works at a store and is young and doesn't understand the world and doesn't really like to work, but would question a man of his good hard, Republican morals. I was thrown for a complete loop. But that being said, I now know that he just didn't want to wear a mask, which is extremely cool.
The issue is people come in so fucking hard just to gaslight you, just to gaslight anybody for no reason. There's no real issue. Like the in and out of a liquor store experience is like 4 minutes tops. So not being able to, not wearing a mask is literally to spend your time just gaslighting whoever you come across. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's literally just you being a little baby bitch boy. Yeah.
It's really a cool strategy.
Yeah. We'll have more liquor store content for you coming up, so don't feel like you're missing out. Last thing to say about this is, yes, completely agree, Ben. A liquor store experience at longest, 20 minutes, because they come in, you say, can I help you find something? They go, whoa, you got everything. And they walk around to then prove you have everything. At its shortest, they come in, hey, what do you need? These instances are just if they need to ask a question. They come in, hey, what do you need? Find it. They leave. Worst instance, they come in, hey, man, can you wear a mask? No. Please. No. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
No.
Okay, it's very much like the no from iRobot, that meme.
Yes.
Have you ever had somebody who's refused to leave once you told them to leave?
No, we haven't had anyone like that. It's pretty simple, because one nice thing about the liquor store is a lot of those people are addicted to those things.
Oh. Yeah. Bummer.
Yeah, so they cannot live without it. So that is very nice.
That is nice.
Yes, we kind of have them by the crumb.
The scrote.
If we tell them to leave, they'll have to go to a different liquor store that may not be as nice as the one I work at.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are we rebranding today, Derek?
We're rebranding. We're technically rebranding MSG, but I feel like what we're rebranding is the public's conception of MSG.
Well, I mean, that's what a rebrand is, you idiot.
We're not changing the product, we're changing everyone else.
If we were truly doing our job, we would never change the product.
That's true.
But
that's
it is our responsibility as three incredibly smart, humble, mildly educated,
pretty attractive
men. Thank you, attractive. To convince everyone they're wrong about things, and then ultimately never be wrong ourselves. It's kind of the dream.
I think the true art of it is to convince people that they always thought a certain way.
True.
And that to think a way that we didn't want them to think, that they had ever thought that is a stupid, horrible thing that never happened.
It's like upfront magic, but with ideas.
Yeah. When you put it that way, it kind of sounds like we're the ones gaslighting everyone else.
That is what we're doing.
Yeah, but we just said that we're doing it, so we clearly can't be doing it because the gig would be up.
Yeah,
exactly.
So MSG.
Don't tell anybody, listeners.
Ben, let's listen to Derek, our favorite chef of Asian food.
Yeah, I would call him a cuisine expert.
Cuisine. I'm not. What I'm not is a molecular gastronomist. So take everything here with just a pinch of salt. Because I'm not
or don't. Maybe a pinch of MSG.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes. Good stuff.
Because I'm not an expert by any means, but I have done some cursory reading. I didn't say research, just reading on the stuff. And I do use a lot of cooking things. I make lots of food. It's kind of a hobby of mine. So, boys, to start, what do you know about MSG?
So what put it on my radar to start with is somebody suggested using MSG in a recipe. Mm-hmm. And I went onto another video that was talking about MSG, and he said that when he started to use it, all the comments were like, I can't believe you're using MSG in this thing. And he's like, okay, so I decided to make a whole video about the origins of MSG and why people hate it.
Yes.
So I think we'll get into this in a minute, but basically everyone hates MSG, and it all comes down to somebody who like went to a Chinese restaurant, got like a stomach ache or a headache or something, and then decided to write an article to a scientific journal as an opinion piece about MSG being the problem, and that got that got let into the journal, published, and then it got taken everywhere. So this isn't the first opinion piece to go hog wild on society, but this is one of them that we're talking about today.
It is so cool how opinions like this can just shape 30 years. Like, like weed, like marijuana being more dangerous than alcohol.
Or like dangerous.
Dangerous, thank you. Yeah, I was going to try to get the tail end of dangerous, but I can't think of anything that Russ would relate to Kush. Oh, Danger Kush. Thank you.
Danger Kush. There it is. We got there.
There you go.
Danger
We'll be
Kush.
billing you. So it's like how weed was labeled as more Danger Kush than alcohol, like based purely on, if I remember hearing from, that one episode of Family Guy, because hemp was a potential competitor for paper.
Yeah.
Something of that nature. Legitimate, like just things that can be so infinitesimal at the time, and you just slander something for only the good reason of advancing yourself, which is your right, which is what we're doing here. But it can be so cool in the future. So I think what we're doing is good.
You don't need facts in order to shape public opinion.
No.
You just need an opinion is the issue.
Also sprinkle in a number or two.
And loudness.
That's true. And I think whoever creates the most convincing lie is what shapes public policy for the future going forward. And it maybe not be a lie. It could just be somebody thinking something for no reason, and that shapes it. Or maybe just bad science shaping stuff.
Mm-hmm.
True. Much like Robin Hood robbing from the rich to give to the poor, we are going to reverse the public opinion on all these wrong thoughts and set the record straight.
I love to remind people when their thoughts are wrong.
Yeah, I think that really is the case. So MSG in particular. And
yes.
Derek, what is it? Let's talk about what MSG stands for.
Letter by letter.
Letter by letter. M is mono, which means one.
It's a
kissing
disease.
disease.
Yeah, the kissing disease. Excellent.
So, already a strike against it.
Yes.
Kissing is disgusting. Makes me throw up just thinking of it. Unless it's with my girlfriend. Okay.
Good save, Evan.
Thank you. Very close.
The S is sodium.
Please let it be suck.
Oh no, and it wasn't sex either. Damn.
I was
It
hoping
wasn't
for the
suck or sex,
suck.
but it was sodium. So so far we have basically one sodium.
Yes.
Single sodium. Which is good.
Is where things get a little bit more sciencey. The G stands for glutamate.
Glutamate.
Yes.
Okay. That is an amino acid.
Yes, it is. I'm glad we have a chemist on the podcast here.
It does help. Not a biochemist, but I do know what glutamate is.
Yes. So MSG is monosodium glutamate, and it is a sodium salt of glutamic acid, the amino acid. And it is found, it's naturally occurring in a lot of different foods, including tomatoes and cheese and like almost all meat. And MSG is basically the source of umami, which we have talked about on the cast before.
Exactly, the savory flavor.
Yes, the thing that is, it's not salty, it's not sweet, it's not bitter, it's
like,
umami.
the snack that smiles back. It's the taste that makes you bust.
Wow. All right.
It is.
It is the taste that makes you bust.
The taste that makes you bust. Mommy!
So unlike other sort of seasonings that you'd use on food, this is a flavor enhancer. It's not going to make bad food good. In fact, it might make bad food worse, but it will make good food a lot better. It's
better.
kind of how it's been used.
Yeah, and foods that are sort of right on the edge, if they lean a little bit towards the better food, this is going to kick them right up into good food territory.
The ultimate seasoning for edging.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, this is good.
This
reminds me of the tweets where it's like I like to think of an Amish person, or not an Amish person, but like someone from the 1600s eating one Doritos nacho cheese Dorito, and how that contains more flavor than they experienced in their whole lives.
That's wild.
Geez.
I love those tweets. So funny.
I mean, it's
definitely
true.
not the first time we've mentioned it, but still.
Yeah.
It is funny though, because wars of seasoning have been fought throughout all of time.
It's true.
And I think like if the fact that MSG, which is supposedly like just an incredible flavor enhancer, has gotten such a bad rap that us white people are not using it. It feels like a major coup for like Asian food to just be so much better than what we're cooking just because they're allowed to make their savory flavor so much better.
Right. And so one thing that I knew but then was reinforced in my knowledge during my reading for this topic. MSG was first prepared in 1908 by the Japanese biochemist Kukunai Ikeda, who was trying to isolate and duplicate the savory taste of kombu, which is a seaweed used in a lot of Japanese soups. And the MSG balances and blends and rounds out the perception of other tastes. Kind of, you use foods that have naturally occurring MSG, or ingredients rather, to create a food, or you just add MSG powder, and it creates great depth of flavor, which is something that you get a lot in soups and stews, ramen, gravy, some condiments, and other savory type
even
snacks.
Popcorn, tomato sauce, soups, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
You can boil them, you can mash them.
Stick them in a stew.
You could literally sprinkle them over roasted vegetables, and it would improve their the flavor of it.
I bet you could put them on a nice pair of conies.
You probably could.
You really could.
But so it's like a naturally...
There's only one way to cook a brace of conies, and it's with MSG.
That's right.
There it is.
I like to think of it as this cool molecule that's riding a surfboard on your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I think thinking about that is sort of like the molecule cheat code to food or to flavor is a good way to think about it if we're going forward in our rebrand.
Yeah. Life hack to your tongue.
It's like a cooking hack.
Yeah.
Basically. Yes. Almost all spice is a cooking hack, honestly, rather than just eating like straight up vegetables, straight up meat.
Do you mean the spice, allspice? Or all spices are?
Ooh.
All spices, I mean.
Ooh.
Okay.
But allspice is very
real
good
fast.
too.
Let's allspice is good. Ben, what's your favorite spice to just maybe add a dash?
I have to say cumin?
Good choice.
Interesting.
Evan.
You've spoken volumes with only one word. I'm going to have to go with red pepper flakes.
Ooh,
keep it
that's
simple.
really good too.
Makes the dish look cool. Put it on anything.
If you're not sprinkling some red pepper flakes on your pizza, you're just missing out a big opportunity to add some kick to that.
As a child at a bowling alley, you had one of your friends dump it on your pizza and you didn't realize it and you had a sad mouth.
Yeah, you can go too far.
Yep. When pranks go too far and your friends get eating disorders.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Derek.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't add like a ton of crazy random spices to whatever dish I'm making. I usually just use the prescribed thing.
Yeah.
Boo.
But I mean, like, salt is so ubiquitous, and we typically really undersalt everything.
But no, I'm thinking that honestly that shortly MSG will be this new seasoning.
I'm starting to think like I might just go get a fucking bottle of MSG and be like, this is my new thing. It goes on cereal, it goes on Pop-Tarts, it goes in cake. It's everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's partially it. Is because like right now I've got cumin, but I'm not going to toss cumin in like almost any of my dishes. There's very few dishes where that will elevate it a little bit. But MSG has a much wider range.
Absolutely.
So we touched a little bit on why it has such a bad rap, and then what it is and what it does.
Yes.
Can we touch a little bit more onto like the current cultural perception of MSG?
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time either of you heard anything good about MSG? Besides that MSG. One video that you just watched this week.
I just called my friend of mine, and he's been really into cooking. He's been doing a lot of stuff on Instagram. So when we were talking about cooking, he asked me what recipes I've been doing, and I told him I just picked up some MSG, and he's just like, first reaction, and this is a guy with like a cooking Instagram.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, isn't that really bad?" And I'm like, "There it is, there it is."
Boosh.
And when I said like, "Have you ever thought about it or researched it at all?" and he said, "No, now that you mention it, I don't know why I think it's bad beyond just general perception."
Yeah.
And I'm like, so yes, I agree. I thought the same thing. So I started doing some research, and apparently there's no actual reason to think it's bad.
None at all. So the FDA has given MSG generally recognized as safe designation, GRAS. The belief why we've been told over the years that MSG is bad is because of that one basically scam article that said it can cause headaches and other feelings of discomfort.
Might not have even been a scam. It could just.
It could have been like one person is like, oh, every time I eat Chinese food, this happens to me. It must be the MSG.
Yeah, I remember seeing some video where it was some Asian woman who went to like a Chinese food restaurant in New York City and said this is like the original restaurant that the guy who went to eat Chinese food and reported a headache and then blamed MSG.
Yeah.
And that's why. And ultimately, like, with the hindsight of 2020, it just sounds like this man didn't like good food, which is very interesting to me. And that actually, I like that because I like to think of him like leaving after eating, like with his wife or his date or his group of friends and going, guys, there was something off with that food, right? And everyone's like, no, it tasted pretty good. And he just keeps hammering at it. And then one of his friend pipes up, or his wife or his girlfriend or whoever's closest to him and feels they can be the most honest. And they just go, have you just, like, it was actually pretty flavorful. And some of the cooking you do, it tastes like you just boiled milk. And he just got super pissed. He's like, actually, no, I cook with a lot of spices and it's not me. And everyone else felt this way. And I would actually like to publish this article.
Yeah,
something like that.
I love the narrative you just created, and whether or not it's true, I will buy into it wholeheartedly.
It's true now, yes.
Well, because we all bought into MSG is bad and causes headaches and other feelings of discomfort. But there's been like a few studies done, and none of them came back with any conclusive data that supports this. It's all been like, no, it doesn't really. Maybe there's like a little bit more flavor, maybe a little bit more salt, but it's not going to be to the extent that it causes a visceral reaction in you.
It was mentioned in Homestar Runner one time, Teen Girl Squad, where I think the ugly one got MSG'd.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
That's true.
Yeah, and I will say I think that it's actually less salt than if you were typically to just salt stuff.
Yeah,
in terms of
absolutely.
The ratio.
Yeah, probably.
It only has one salt rather than sodium chloride.
I would love to talk about this. Yes, so sodium.
Tell me about it.
Big. Chloride, not so big. Glutamate, much bigger than chloride. So ultimately, MSG is going to be a lot less salty, a lot fewer ions than sodium chloride.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that quickly because I don't want to spread the idea that you're using more salt when you're using MSG, because I think it's actually less if you're using the same amount.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I've got percentages right here, and what Evan said is very true. The sodium...
God, I love being right.
You're so right. So the sodium content in mass percent of MSG is about 12%, and then about a third of that is the sodium chloride, 39%, and then there's a greater mass of the glutamate counterion.
That's salt.
Dude, that's salt.
You're supposed to press the button with money on it.
Like I said, sodium chloride. Dude, that's salt.
R.I.P. to our blessed labor capital friend Skeet. I'm gonna have more than one to you this episode, Skeet.
Yeah, cheers to Skeet for him. But yeah, now instead of sodium chloride, we are all on our monosodium glutamate, right?
Oh yeah, big fan.
So we have the idea of sort of you pitching this as a super chemical. What did you say?
Yeah.
Not chemical. People hate the word chemical.
Seasoning.
Super
essence.
Molecule.
Element. Essence.
Yeah. It can't be an element.
It's a life hack. Like it is a cooking hack.
We should just call it an amino acid. Everyone loves amino acids, and they're good for you.
That's true.
Is there a way to like get this as a superfood or as a supplement?
Yeah, amino acids are commonly seen as good supplements. Short chain amino acids, especially.
Nice. I actually love this. So we have MSG, which is also shorthand for message. Like you could say, so this is a supplement. What's another word for message? Maybe we could sort of just like rebrand that word.
I kind of want to just do another acronym for MSG.
Hit me with it
real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mega suck generator. When you use it, you get the mega suck.
I'm not sure that goes in the direction that we were hoping
like
to.
Like a shop vacuum.
On your penis?
Hey, however you swing. Okay. You know what? Yeah, that actually was completely useless in the term of this conversation. And
I'm glad you brought it up.
Like a penny on a railroad track, just thrown us way off.
That's all right.
Okay, so I will say glutamate, looking at it, it's an incredibly useful amino acid because it's got such a short chain.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly short, and it's very useful because it's a neurotransmitter, so it can make your brain smarter.
It is. That was part of the thing. Is that's why people were saying, oh, maybe it does headaches because like if you have enough, then like your brain just starts firing and firing and firing.
Thinking too hard.
But it's like
you only use 10%.
Oh, yeah, and this pushes like right up to the 10% line.
Yeah, the man had never written a scientific article before, but after eating at that Chinese restaurant, he was firing in all cylinders and said, "Why does my brain hurt so good?"
And he was attacking the one thing that made his brain work.
Could MSG prevent CTE?
Oh my god, I just realized something.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the movie, oh god, what's that movie with Bradley Cooper?
The Last Samurai.
No, Todd, he wasn't in that.
The Hangover.
It was Tom Cruise. No.
He was in that.
Failure to launch.
Yeah, no, that's Matthew McConaughey. They all just look, these are similar, attractive, like brown-haired males.
Playbook.
World
War Z.
It's Limitless, yes. The one with Robert De Niro, you mean?
Fuck you. So yes, Limitless. What if we pitch this as this like Limitless style thing? The way that it like makes your brain. We actually attack the branding of it hurting your brain and say it's not hurting your brain, it's increasing its mental faculties.
How about instead of hurting H-U-R-T, it's herding H-E-R-D, and moving all of the neural. We are all sheep. Our brains are moving all of our neural transmitters, and all of our synapses start flaring. I actually like this. I like to think of the meme where it's the really strong guy with the small head and the really small guy with the giant head, and he goes. The big guy with the muscles goes, "Where do you work out?" And the guy with the big brain usually says library, but in this instance, he'll say, "I eat MSG."
Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
to bring it back to that sort of idea of a supplement.
Yeah.
In the film Limitless, the drug that is given to this guy is a nootropic called NZT48, and a nootropic is a smart drug or cognitive enhancer. And are seen as drugs or supplements or other substances that can improve cognitive functions, specifically memory, creativity, motivation, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So what if we kind of pitch this as a NZT or a nootropic of some sort?
I
like it.
Give me just 1 second. I'm clicking through. I think I found an article in my reading that already classified it as a nootropic.
I mean, quickly,
really?
I'll just say people are willing to like eat whole spoonfuls of apple cider vinegar because it'll make them poop better and it'll help their tummies. So I think they'll eat MSG, which make the food taste good.
Well, what if we find a target audience that doesn't care as much about sort of like this sort of like, what if we target people who are taking exams and say this is student food?
Yeah, instead
like
of Adderall.
this is the sort of exactly like
MSG.
This is a cognitive enhancer. Not only is this incredibly tasty, but it's a nootropic that's going to help you pass this test.
I think if we just put it inside cup of noodles or ramen, I think it would blow up.
That's true.
Son.
Do classic like ramen packets already have MSG inside of the flavor packets?
Absolutely. I bought a can of soup today that had MSG in it. It's everywhere. It's all over the place.
What if we, instead of sort of just trying to like rebrand it so that it flies under the table, we'd go the exact opposite direction and call attention to it and saying this is a cognitive enhancer, and we put that on the friggin' lid.
Yeah.
I love this.
Lid.
Also, I was thinking of the whole campaign to get this information out so that it becomes common knowledge, like as common as don't eat MSG. Why? Oh, it'll make you have a head hurt. But I think we have to jump into the tank before I reveal this new tactic.
I like that. Let's save that.
Real fast. All I'm thinking of is Simple Jack when he says, "Goodbye, Mom."
I'll see you when I go
Derek
to sleep.
knows what I'm saying.
In my head movies. Only this head movie makes my eyes rain. And with that, let's jump into the tank.
Welcome to the Think Tank, everyone. This is a part of the episode where we take a respite, and like in Dark Souls, when you rest by the campfire. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Let's Bring Them In. Fresh content, as fresh as we can make it. We're juicing the lemon real tight with these late summer months. But we're enjoying it, We're about to get to the last month of technically summer. I think the not summer solstice. What is it? What is the autumnal equinox?
Yeah, the autumnal equinox, but that's in September.
September, yeah. Do you remember?
I do remember. Oh, yeah, so we're about to start. We're starting the last month of summer. That's what you're saying. I'm listening.
Yep. And then only 10 more episodes, and then we're at 100. And then after that, it'll be 2 years. And listener, you'll be here for us through the peak. Which reminds me, don't forget to rate us 5 stars, write us a review. Derek will say literally anything on this podcast. Get Derek to say unspeakable things. He will read tombstones and worse. And then also, don't forget to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts from. Beyond that, description of this podcast, we've got the Discord. Go off if you choose. We love to talk to anyone. Anyone.
Also, please tell a friend about how much you love our show, because then they will want to be in with you loving us, and we'll all love each other together.
Lie to them. Tell them it made you smarter. Tell them it got you money. We don't
Let's Bring Them In is a nootropic.
Tell them,
that's right.
Tell them that you found love through Let's Bring Them In.
Exactly. I found my girlfriend through Let's Bring Them In. Government mandated girlfriend given to me by Let's Bring Them In. Gone sexual. Could be you. We got anything else?
That's it. I'm still workshopping the government mandated girlfriend, but that's coming out.
Yeah.
We're looking into that. That might be the next Facebook event.
Actually, I love that.
Yeah, hold on. I'm ready to get down so don't forget.
Yeah, let's get that. You might have heard it here first, folks, about our new Facebook event.
Aha. Dude, fuck that $1,200 check. I'm trying to get a government mandated girlfriend.
I love it.
Amazing. I'm just kidding. I love you, Galini. All right. And anything else?
Oh, yeah, something else. Evan's moving to across the country. When you hear this, he'll have moved. So we wish him happy and safe travels.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Looks like I was too busy falling into the Erie Canal. You were too late. If you would have said it just a half second faster, I wouldn't have been standing so close to the edge.
Dang it.
Live and let live. All right. Welcome back from the think tank, motherfucker.
Yes.
Can we? Does that have to be every time?
I don't know, man.
You always claim that you're going to take it out, and then you never do, so I kind of think you like it.
How dare you go behind the screen like that?
I'm just a big fan of the show. I hear what I hear, and then I hear motherfucker every time, too.
It's kind of funny. I don't know. I just like the way it sounds with that voice. I love it.
Me too.
Well, I mean, Derek's right. I haven't edited it out, even though I said I would every time.
Well, that's part of the bit at this point.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
Adding complexity and levels and umami, like MSG.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, Derek, go off king.
All right.
Nootropic.
Where we are currently is it's a nootropic, it's a supplement, and it's good for your big brain activity.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I got a new layer that we could lie about.
Yes.
Makes sex better.
I'm into it. I want to come back to this. Let's put a pin in it.
Yeah.
But Derek, you were about to give us
pin.
You teased the audience something, and I want to touch on that before we go into this huge can of worms Evan just opened.
We'll put a pin in the sex flavor enhancing aspect of MSG. What I'm thinking is
lust.
We've got this supplement idea. We've got it doing all these good health benefits for you, and especially for students. So we target it at them as, let's get kids microdosing MSG.
Mm-hmm.
Take a little bit every now and then. Increase your brain activity. It helps you focus better. It helps you learn better. It's all for the students. And I think that we can target it as this underground type substance, similar to how Adderall jumped on the scene 10 years ago.
And also there's pot brownies.
Yeah.
So we can say that this is laced with neurotopics. We can give them just a bowl of yakisoba or ramen and just say this is laced with neurotropics. So you should eat this before you start nootropics.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got confused. Nootropics. So you should eat this before you start studying tonight.
But also you can literally eat this in class and it's laced with nootropics. Like, I don't know. I think that kids would be all over that. And then it'll just spread. It'll spread around to all the other kids. And then pretty soon it'll become common knowledge. MSG is the big thumbs up from us.
So yes, and I also like the idea Evan said of saying like also this improves your sex. Is there a way to prove that in any way?
I think this might be able to tie in real tightly with our government mandated girlfriends.
Do go on.
I really don't think I have anything to go
I'm going to save him
with.
on this one. Then.
And I think it would only make the podcast worse.
I'm going to say that like, how are we going to, we obviously are rebranding the image of MSG in a really positive way. How are we delivering it? Are these like MSG packets? Is that how should we do this?
It's like the flavor packet in instant ramen. It's just a little tin foil packet that you kind of have to shake it all to the bottom.
I think that might be the play.
Yeah,
I like that. I also like the capsules. I like it like that, so you can just eat it.
That.
Yeah. But if you just eat it, you're not tasting it. It's supposed to be the flavor thing, right? I'm thinking more of like a shake some onto your tongue.
Well, I mean, at that point, I was thinking the capsule. I still don't think we should say that you should be eating this direct. I think you should always have like a big steaming like pot of ramen or whatever that you'll dump this on.
Add it to rice.
I like the idea.
Should we put it in a grinder? You grind it up and you put it on your food.
Yeah, like a big damn crystal of MSG, and you can grind up pieces of it or grate it.
I like the idea of doing that. It's just there needs to be like designated people who are grinding this on campus, because you wouldn't want to be pulling out this thing in class when you're trying. You want to be grinding pepper in the middle of class. Every time I play, we play video games with our friend Eric. He always pulls out this big thing of pepper.
Like an actual,
and he starts grinding it in the microphone on his like mac and cheese or whatever, and it's the worst thing in the world. So I have a visceral reaction when you bring out the idea of a grinder for this thing.
Nothing cooler than a grinder. Really great way to just kind of. I like it. I like to think of like having like an intellectual discussion, and like you're just talking about very nuanced topics, and then kind of like just like a manual fixation. Someone pulls out their grinder and just starts grinding up, and it's like, well, oh, do you want to smoke? Like, are you saying you want to smoke weed? And they're like, no, I do it to like help me think, and I don't want to have to grind in the moment, so I do it to plan ahead. I like to think of it like that.
I love that.
But now with MSG,
let's take this to its logical conclusion. So we get this going. Middle America starts to get up in arms as the news picks up this story that kids are hopping up their meals on delicious MSG, and now the media and moms are going crazy. They're going to say that this is illegal because they're claiming that this improves your mental health. The FDA is getting on our ass saying that, well, we are fine in saying that this is just a delicious flavor enhancer. Claiming that this is brain food is now going too far. So how are we going to deal with this new hellscape that we've created?
I want to say make it sneakier.
Even sneakier.
Yeah. Evan, you disagree?
Put it on Facebook.
Oh?
Advertise strictly on Facebook.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's going to put it into the eyes of the people who are going to try and target it.
Yep. And then they'll say it's bad. And then the only way to get the kids to use it is if the adults say it's bad.
Well, we honestly do want it to be seen as bad, because then all of the kids will be using it for spite, and because they know it works, kind of like the Adderall explosion.
Yeah, then they'll get the good jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also, as those people get phased out of society, the public image of MSG in the long game will be rectified.
Yes. And partially it's like maybe our product eventually gets regulated out because we've advertised so heavily that it increases your brain stuff.
Improves your sex.
But then on Facebook, on Twitter, people are like, hey, I know this product's been regulated out, but guess what? I went to my grocery store. They had MSG.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden.
You got YouTubers
that is ultimately the way to
looking
do
at
it.
it like, live streaming in the grocery store, and look, I'm in the spice area. They just have bottles of MSG in here. You can just buy it. You don't need an ID or anything. This is crazy.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, the world has changed.
With hints of the liquor store episode coming soon. That's a classic I love when people will come in and be like, do you have... Okay, so today someone came in to get Bud Zero, which is Budweiser with zero alcohol. So just an NA Budweiser.
Yep.
They came in to ask. I was like, I mean, I can check. No fucking way we have
No.
that. Like, no one's buying that. You got to ask for that. So then I'm like, we don't have it. We can get it for you. Make them think that it's not really available. And they go, oh, yeah, I'd love it. That's the key. The customer request. So in turn, if someone thinks that something's not available readily and you're doing them a favor by getting it for them, wink, nudge, elbow, pinky promise, don't tell anyone, come around the back door. I'll get it for you, but just for you, and you have to buy this amount. They love thinking that it's special. So if the special way to get them to buy it is by telling them it's actually illegal. Illegal, not illegal. Illegal meaning it's naughty.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that idea, but I think one of our goals should be that this is like
widespread
we get
acceptance.
everybody. Yeah, widespread acceptance, because I think, a certain step of this process should absolutely be what Evan's described. I think that step, in the middle there, that little question mark before profit.
Yes.
One of the part of the 6-step
Exactly.
process. I'll give you step 3 and a little bit of
yes.
color coding. That's it. So at some point, I think that we should actually we got to integrate MSG into alcohol. That's part of the step as well.
I have to imagine a little sprinkle of it in any beverage is going to enhance the beverage.
I mean,
you know how they add
of
salt to
sake,
margaritas?
It's gotta be nuts.
Yeah.
What if there's a savory porter that you can sprinkle MSG on the rim?
I'm trying to think of a beer that would go well with salt.
You could,
a Ghost. Put it in a Ghost. That's like a salt beer.
Yeah.
Or a Gose.
I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that one.
Oh, really?
It's like a beer that's usually pretty tart, like a sour, but it uses rind. Uses the salt from a rind. Have you ever had Green Zebra from Founders?
It's really good.
I haven't, no.
Oh, it's good. It's a watermelon lime Gose.
But would you want, because I feel like that's not savory, would you want it to put it in something that has that sort of tart flavor?
No, well, it's savory with salt.
Okay.
Yeah, so you want to put that tart savory in there.
Yeah,
so it's not
increase,
juicy.
Yeah, but the MSG wouldn't make this beer taste like a soup broth, but it would increase the depth of flavor that's naturally occurring with the salt.
Oh,
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like the rind of a watermelon.
Yeah.
It's the rind of the watermelon and the lime, creating that salt. That's
Shake
the
it all up.
idea.
Sure do.
As far as a mixed drink, I think it'd probably go well with
Margarita or...
Yeah.
You think? That's so sweet.
They put salt on the rim though, Ben.
And
guess that's true.
sometimes in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, some of the mixes have been known to give people heartburn because they'll put salt in it already, and then people put salt on the rim, and then it's like, ooh, I just had 60 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah.
That was fast.
You don't think about it because you sprinkle a little bit on your meat, and you're like, wow, that's a lot of salt.
Oh.
But then you put a metric shit ton in your margarita.
Yeah.
Bloody Marys.
Oh,
Bloody Marys would be ideal,
Derek,
I think.
I'm upset it took you that long.
I know. Duh. It's already got naturally occurring MSG in the tomato juice part, but also...
Yes.
Oh my god,
sprinkle
this
some
is
more, it's
literally
getting
the
deep.
perfect way.
Yeah.
Very epic. Also, it's a perfect
literally-
hangover
Yeah.
because
I
it
literally want to
rehydrates you.
try an MSG Bloody Mary right
Well,
now.
Andrew, you can
Yeah.
add both of your two favorite seasonings.
Oh,
Red
really?
pepper flakes
Cumin?
and cumin. Yeah, throw that in
Holy-
there. Who cares?
Holy
Yep.
shit,
Some
guys, have we
Worcestershire sauce.
invented the
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
drink?
Maybe a raw egg.
Absolutely. I ate
Okay,
it.
I'm off,
You guys-
I'm off now.
You never do a raw egg? I had a raw egg a couple weeks ago just to see if I could do it.
Can you?
Yeah, nothing happened. It was
Did
fine.
the yolk break in your mouth?
Yeah, kind of like
It busted in your mouth.
it did. It sure did. It was kind of
I'm
like
nervous. I'll do one.
kind of
I'll
like
do one
a
later.
gusher, except the inside of the gusher was.
Why would you say that to me? That's so gross.
Yolk. That's actually very cool.
It was real cool.
Respect.
Thanks.
All right, guys, I hate to cut us off, but I think that MSG,
You think we did it? You think we got it?
I think we did it.
I'm not gonna lie. This one was kind of an alley-oop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got there so quick, I had to go jump into complications
That's
and
true.
how we'd solve those.
And just like the powder, the MSG will dissolve in whatever you put it in.
That's
Give 'em
right,
that
and
tweet
become part of the solution.
Yes.
What does that mean? Is it tweet corner time?
It's tweet corner time.
Automatic rifle.
Shooting
Ouch.
Blanks.
because
It's Tweet Corner.
time.
Okay, let me see. I've got a lot of tweets in this episode, so we're just gonna roll.
Let's roll.
This one's by @oldfriend99 OLDFRIEND99. He says, everyone has that one grocery they've always wanted to buy.
It's true.
Wow.
It's true.
I immediately went to like what that would be for me.
Yeah.
And you know what it was?
What?
First thought? Those little lobsters with the claws and the little thing.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Everyone's wanted to live a life like that.
With the little rubber claw. The thing is, I would buy that thing and then feel guilty and then just get like an aquarium and then just put it in there.
Oh, so you just want to go to the grocery store to get a pet?
I guess so. No, I think I'd intend to like say, I guess this is in the eating section, but I'm going to buy it. I'd get this thing. It'd be sitting next to me in the car and I'd be looking at it and I'm like,
on.
What was my plan? What was my plan here?
What about you, Derek?
Wow, that's such a good question. I think it's like every time I'm at the Japanese market, there's like whole ass entire fishes that I'm like, yeah, I want to get this fish. But also, durian is one that's been on my list for a long time.
Good call. Yeah.
Let's see. I want to get cake mix. Okay, so this.
Why have you not gotten cake mix?
So I haven't gotten the time. So this next one is by.
It's so easy. It's already done.
Yeah, well,
already happened.
I just don't see it happening for me now.
What a commitment.
Yeah. I just don't know if I can.
Well, you gotta get cake mix, you gotta get oil, you gotta get eggs, you gotta buy water. There's a whole process. Some frosting, maybe.
I don't have the space for it,
Do you even have a cake pan or an oven? I mean, I see where he's coming from.
Derek gets. So this next one's by at Wayof. It's old wife. They've changed their name though, and I really like their account. So this one's at W0A0I0F. Good morning, perverts, idiots, and people well into adulthood that still identify as burnt-out gifted kids.
Damn.
Yeah, I like it.
How about that? That is one of my favorite. I love the whole because. So I don't know. I've never been one to want to like identify, especially like based on academics, which is ironic because now I'm going to identify as an academic, which is very epic actually. Yeah. But the whole like nuanced, for the most part, it's just high schoolers on Twitter that say it. But like, I am an academic kid. Like I used to be gifted, and now I realize I was just good at reading. And it's like, are you jaded by how smart you thought you were, or are you jaded by the education system that told you were smart?
Yeah,
and then the ego boost just ended up making you think everything intellectually until you were in a pretzel.
Well, Evan, you always did well in school. I did pretty good, but I also almost never put effort into it. So, I mean, that's kind of where I always did fine, but I always saw the people that were top of the class were the ones that seemed to actually take it very seriously.
Yeah.
How about you, Derek? Where were you kind of landing?
Derek was a genius.
Well, there you go.
Top 20.
No, 22.
I was 20. No, you weren't. No? I was 22. You were 21.
Okay, not top 20.
Nope, not top 20.
Nah, we weren't good enough, but also like I thought that I was very smart, but I didn't try very hard, but I still took as many AP classes as I could.
Yeah.
And then I just did like okay at them. But I was like, oh, I'm still smarter than like the kids that are not taking these, right? And it's like, that's the wrong way to think.
But you are though, because like there's an average in terms of human intelligence, and then half of everybody is well below that.
Yeah.
So yes, we were intelligent, but I would say above 50 for sure.
Yes.
In terms of effort. Like, I mean, all of us were in AP classes. I gave up on the science and math track after my first year of high school because it was too much more work than I was willing to put in. I got burned out by honors biology, which was apparently the hardest science class that existed at high school.
It's the last biology class I ever took.
Me too.
I have recently decided that any biology I need to know, I will just look up online, as most doctors do right now.
Oh, yeah, that's not true. I did take a bio class in college, but it was a joke compared to high school honors biology.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think what most be remembered is that while we are very intelligent, we are able to have a conversation about how smart we were in high school, which shows that we have the intellectual depth of true genius. And we're still bitter about it, so we haven't made enough good memories to put that behind us. So we have a lot to look forward to, and it's a very happy time for us. Next tweet. Also, I identify as a pervert, so that's what I kind of
same.
Yeah. So this one's by @Guru. We got 3 more. This one's by @GuruVaru, @GURU_VARU. Oh, that's your girl? ? Then why is she in my DMs selling Ray-Bans for $24.99? It's a good point. You know what I mean?
It's a great point.
Yeah. Hey, Hans, message me if you want a really good deal on some sweet leggings. Clap emoji.
All right,
Margarita emoji.
Real fast, we're going to get through these. So this one's by @MatrixReloaded_,
cool.
@MatrixReloaded_. Me, a racist guy, seeing a 15-slide infographic about white privilege on Instagram. I am going to read this.
I saw that too.
I fucking love that. So when I saw that post, I was like, oh, that's hilarious. And then I look at the comments and everyone's taking it so seriously. And it's like, well, actually, it's important to share. It's like, God damn it. Like, I miss when Twitter was just people saying dumbass jokes.
Bunch of shit posting.
I mean, yes. Like, and don't get me wrong. It's not as though I'm standing up on a hill saying, I just wish they took politics out of Twitter. Because I think it's very important, but it's like, man, like, sometimes jokes are just
also think
jokes.
about it this way. Like, that thing got like however thousands of likes and retweets. Yes. And then the only thing that's a valuable comment that somebody would bother scrolling down for is a dissenting opinion. Like, nobody's going to push up a comment that says, very good joke, my dude, clap emoji.
Yeah.
Yes,
like, they're only going to upvote the things that say, well, actually, this take is bad. Or this joke is a bad joke, and I'm going to explain why.
Much like the tweet that I just posted recently, where I just my favorite thing is to share, like, the terrible takes that are the replies, but not the replies that are so bad that they're funny, but the replies that are like, actually, this is a bad take, and I think it's inappropriate, and everyone just, like, audibly groans.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. 2 more. Second to last one here. This one's by @DaisyBaird, @DAISYBARD. Writers be like, this character will be a writer.
You gotta write about what you know.
Exactly.
Which is why Ben's writing about an assassin.
Exactly. Well, don't tell anybody. This has been Benjamin DeHart, your writer, who is writing about other writers. Thank you so much for listening to Let's Bring Them In.
And as always, this has been Sir Derek, your Knight of Ethics. Tune in next week when we actually rebrand liquor stores, drink some water, read a book, and go to the store and buy some MSG. Who cares?
Get crazy with it. All right. So this tweet's by Lunch Enjoyer. Mentioned them several times. They're a standby. @LUNCH_ENJOYER. I bet Harambe is looking down from heaven like, okay, what happened in 2020 now? In 2011, I was involved in a hit-and-run accident in Dayton, Ohio with a man named Mark Phipps. Mark died from his injuries at the hospital, and I have felt nothing but guilt every day since. This has been Evan Klein, your time wizard. Just like Derek said, drink water, eat a vegetable. Don't forget that Black Lives Matter now and forever. We'll be billing you, and peace.